The other day, via Instagram DM, I was informed of the existence of the Mpreg historical Pride and Prejudice remix, Pride and Paternity, a romance between Mr. Darcy and Mr. Bingley, within the context and setting of the original Pride and Prejudice. It's 200 and something pages. Let's read it together. Because I genuinely, Mpreg Historical Pride and Prejudice variation. For my friend Jennifer, last name withheld for her protection, who once said you should write an Mpreg Pride and Prejudice variation. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. It is a truth less universally acknowledged, indeed a truth most deliberately ignored, that occasionally a gentleman might find himself in a rather more delicate situation than matrimony. The sort of situation that required loose waistcoats, country retreats, and a great deal of discretion. Such was the predicament of one Charles Bingley, newly arrived to Hertfordshire. So right off the bat, we know that Bingley is going to be the one getting pregnant. But it said such was, not will be. He's not already pregnant. Beyond that opener, we're starting off pretty identical, pretty similar to the original introduction and perspective of Pride and Prejudice, where we're looking into the Bennet family. They're finding out that Mr. Bingley has arrived. Mrs. Bennet is immediately getting into matchmaker mode. Why does Kitty keep coughing? It's like Pride and Prejudice, but on fast forward. We're moving through this really, really quickly, which I understand because we kind of need to move past the Bennet family. But if this is going to focus on Bingley and Darcy, why are we even starting with the Bennet family? And this is where the changes kick in. Bingley keeps having to excuse himself because he's sick. I swear to God, if he's already pregnant, how long has this been going on? Once we break away from the original story and get into whatever's going on between Darcy and Bingley, the tension is actually quite overwhelming between the two of them, especially because they have to have this conversation in secret in a crowded room where everyone is already looking at them. And they seem to be hiding it well, with the exception of Lizzie being all up in their business. Mr. Darcy seems unusually attentive to his friend. Oh, I'm sure. Bingley is absolutely pregnant, and I'm kind of annoyed that we're only just now being dropped into the story. But I'm really confused because, what is the in-world? Is this Omegaverse? Bingley is 6 weeks pregnant. His physician knows, and they're talking about discretion and not treating this as some sort of medical anomaly. Bingley is literally only concerned about his reputation and his image. Why is no one questioning why he's pregnant? Bingley actually makes me so sad. First of all, he's 6 weeks pregnant. Second of all, he's having these really conflicted feelings about Jane because she is undeniably the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. He cares about her very much. He is moved by her genuine kindness, but he's so upset with himself because he has fully recognized and accepted that he simply is not attracted to women, which is only making her kindness towards him so much worse because he wishes he were attracted to her. He wishes he could reciprocate. Things would be a lot more peaceful, although they would still have the added layer of struggle of being from different social classes. So there are layers to things stopping Bingley from being himself, and also he is pregnant. We really have yet to see anything of substance much between Darcy and Bingley. We keep having these moments of tension because Darcy is absolutely aware that Bingley is sick. Bingley has not revealed to Darcy that he is pregnant with his baby. We're also not getting much romance or passion because we keep finding them during the day, and there's this brief reference to nighttime. Jane is here and taking care of Bingley in a sort of flip-flopping of events. Bingley is complaining about this back pain, how he's not feeling well, and Jane is like, oh, okay. The Bennet sisters are absolutely clocking everything about Darcy and Bingley, and I think that's kind of amazing. The Bennet sisters... Jane is taking care of Bingley, who's going through everything, okay? He will not reveal the true nature of his circumstance. And they have this interaction. Miss Bennet nodded sympathetically. My aunt experienced something similar when she stopped abruptly, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. That is when she was recovering from a long illness. Ginger tea was most helpful. I'm sorry. Male pregnancies, while not unheard of, were rare enough and cloaked in such social delicacy that most chose not to see what was right in front of them, even when the signs were familiar, it was easier, often kinder, to assume some more conventional ailment. Male pregnancy is canon, social delicacy, because they can only get pregnant from other men. So it's like the added layer of you're pregnant and also you have to have been with a man? Or are things broader than this? What is the protocol? Does Caroline know? And now the drama has intensified because Darcy has noticed the chemistry and the potential of something between Bingley and Jane. Wait, does Darcy know that Bingley is pregnant? Darcy has already known this whole time that Bingley is pregnant. Oh, the both of them knew immediately 6 weeks ago. Oh my god, Bingley has to keep loosening his waistcoat because he'd be pregnant. Okay, so the big conflict is them two not agreeing how Bingley should handle this secret pregnancy, because Bingley wants to be out and social and seen by the public as much as possible to avoid rumors of his pregnancy, but Darcy wants him to be taken care of in the best way possible medically, which would require that Bingley go away to a facility and also rest away from public expectations of appearances and gatherings. But then if he does get away from his social engagements for months on end, it will be suspicious. And also Darcy is jealous of Jane Bennet. And Lizzie is already on to him. Hello, sometimes I wonder if you truly see me at all, Darcy, if what you are protecting is me or merely your idea of me. Here's the thing. I think this line, although packs a punch, would hit much harder if we had actually seen any sort of development in Darcy and Bingley's relationship. We don't know how long they've been together, how long they've been romantically involved. We don't know their history. We're being dropped into the middle of a major conflict of a seemingly established couple that we have no information on. Sometimes I wonder if you truly see me at all, me or the idea of me. What even is his idea of you, and who are you? I feel like I'm just thrown into the second half of a story I don't know. And Darcy's trying to assure him, I've always seen you from the first moment. But what was that moment? So, for how long have you known him truly? How long have you seen the real him? Who are you people? Then see me now not as something fragile to be protected, but as your equal and your partner in this. And suddenly they were kissing. Yeah, this is sudden for me too. I have no investment in this relationship. Mind you, we're 20% of the way into the book. This is still the beginning of the story, and we're in the middle of something. What? It was not their first kiss, not by months, but it held a new urgency. So they've been together romantically for months, and Bingley got pregnant 6 weeks ago. I'm actually slightly annoyed that we didn't see them falling in love, that we didn't see that development. Darcy's requesting that Bingley stay the night, and Bingley is in this like internal narration that it's a violation of their careful rules. When did they establish these rules? I think it's such a bizarre choice for us to begin here for them. They've already said their first I love yous off page in the past. Oh my god. Mr. Wickham. Oh, I swear to God, if Wickham finds out about this pregnancy and starts spreading it around town, I'm gonna lose it. This is interesting that we are introduced to Wickham through his own personal feelings, through his own perspective. It was the way Darcy watched Bingley. No! These two are so obvious. First Lizzie, then Jane. Now we know that Wickham has been on it the same timeline as Lizzie. Oh my God, do these servants not have... What is the old-timey servant version of HIPAA? Why are you talking to Mr. Wickham talking about Bingley's condition? Wickham knows. A gentleman, respectable, wealthy, unmarried, carrying a child. Don't slut shame him. Male pregnancy, rare, yes, but not mythical. Oh, this is rare to the point of like only hearing about it through rumors. So Wickham's absolutely gonna blackmail Darcy and Bingley out of money. But like, where do we get the overlap with Lydia? Are we skipping Lydia altogether? Wait, that's so funny. Okay, so in the original Pride and Prejudice, when Jane gets the invitation from Caroline Bingley, it's because Bingley and Darcy have gone off to London, and now this is the explanation for why they're off in London. It's it's because Bingley's pregnant. Okay. Fully, this Lydia storyline gone. I don't know what's going on with any of these women. Wickham attempting to blackmail Darcy and Bingley about their pregnancy was the final straw for Darcy. The gentleman was challenged to a duel? Darcy just shot Wickham, and I don't think he's gonna make it. I don't know what's going on anymore. Why would you go to this duel when your secret boyfriend is pregnant? Doing all this running around, stressing about the well-being of Bingley. You're shooting guns at each other like you're I just need to get frozen yogurt, and I'm gonna ground myself for a second. He's dead, he died, he has been murdered. I'm gonna be honest, big ups to Hamilton for letting me know about the 10 duel commandments. But now he has to keep the shooting a secret. Like, Wickham is dead. I guess Lydia's fine now. I don't even think he got to meet Lydia. But they have a cover for whatever went down, a robbery gone wrong. And it'll be a cold case forever for Wickham. But now Darcy needs to not only keep this a secret from the law, but also from Bingley. Bingley doesn't even know that he went out to do this. What has Bingley been doing? Sleeping, pregnantly, off in his bed. He has no idea. But you know who does know now? Anne de Bourgh. Darcy, in a state of panic and chaos and pure exhaustion, has gone to Anne. And you know what Anne said? Yeah, because everyone and their mother knows you're in love with Charles Bingley. The closet is glass for these two. They're sitting here panicking. They're like, no one can know. We have to keep this a secret. Meanwhile, you jump to literally anyone else's perspective, and they just walk into a room where Darcy and Bingley breathe together, and they're like, gay and in love with each other. I mean, Jane already knows that he's pregnant. This is so ridiculous. They're over here panicking because London thrives on gossip. Oh, I'm sure. Just one glance in your general direction and they're going to clock you, apparently, because it's that easy. If Bingley's condition becomes apparent. Apparently, y'all can't hide anything, really. This is probably like the third or fourth time they've said some variation of male pregnancy was rare but not unheard of. And I think every time it's been in some sort of internal narration. We actually don't need to get reminders this often. We didn't need to hear it a second time either. I definitely don't need to hear it for a fourth. We're not even halfway through the book. Like, we're at 43%. I don't need this many reminders that male pregnancy is rare but not unheard of. Oh, Anne's a real one. She's like, you know what? What could help you with hiding Bingley's pregnancy? If you and I announced our engagement, because my health is in decline and these are lengthy affairs. These could take months, and you would have an excuse to be at my London residence, and you could be with him together while he's going through this. And Anne is a lesbian. I have no wish to marry a man. My inclinations lie elsewhere, cousin. I don't think this is the first time I've read a Pride and Prejudice remix or variation where Anne is a closeted lesbian. I feel like this might be the third time I've seen this. And you know what? I appreciate the general consensus. Oh, and so then she's suggesting that, like, they can have this super lengthy engagement, and then later on, like, I guess after Bingley has given birth, they can announce that the engagement is broken off because of Anne's poor health, leaving Darcy to be an eligible, wealthy bachelor again, and also Bingley and his secret maintained. And she's telling Darcy that he needs to not keep this secret about murdering Wickham from Bingley, but also, like, I do understand Darcy hates a boundary. He keeps arguing with Bingley, overstepping to, like, arrange doctor's visits without his knowledge or consent. It's a whole thing. And, like, I do understand, like, he is looking out for Bingley's health, but, like, also Bingley did lash out at him earlier, talking about, like, how you're treating me like I'm your baby and you need to stop. And now he's keeping this from Bingley, but I do understand not wanting to tell Bingley right now. Like, imagine being Bingley. You are 2 months pregnant at this point, and the love of your life, father of your child during this very stressful time, because I don't know if you've heard, but male pregnancy is rare but not unheard of. And he just tells you that he murdered his arch rival because he needed to quiet him about, like, the blackmailing of you and your pregnancy. I don't think now is a good time to be talking to Bingley about anything stressful. Everything's already stressful. The way we have speed run through this pregnancy, Bingley just gave birth and we're at 54%. And I feel like it truly did just happen out of nowhere. I thought his pregnancy was progressing super quickly because he's talking about, oh, I'm 6 weeks along. Oh, I'm 8 weeks along. Oh, it's been a few weeks. Now he's going into labor. But they've agreed with this plan with Anne to enter this, like, fake lavender engagement. And then to blame the engagement being like maybe a year on her declining health. They also have just arranged right before the birth happens this plan for the baby. It's a girl. Her name is Rosamund. They forged the death certificates of fake parents for the baby so that it'll be like a pretend cousin that they are taking in so that they can raise Rosamund as socially as her uncles, but as her real parents. And Bingley knows that someone else must have known about the pregnancy, and I think Darcy is about to reveal that he murdered Wickham to keep him quiet. We've also finally cut back to Lizzie. We haven't seen her really since the beginning of the book when they went to that assembly and she was like something. But now she's visiting Darcy's estate, looking at his artwork, talking to his servants. And it's so weird because like we've barely seen interactions between Lizzie and Darcy. We didn't even see Jane get sick. She was taking care of Bingley. So it's completely altered, and they're talking about how Darcy's been taking care of like his friends' health these past few months. The servant revealing now that Bingley just wasn't feeling well. Now making Lizzie understand why Bingley had disappeared for months after hitting things off with Jane. And now they've seen each other. But there's zero tension or chemistry between the two of them because we don't have any of their development in any capacity with any relationship. So what even is supposed to happen between Lizzie and Darcy in this? And sure enough, because these two can't keep a secret to save their life, Lizzie has sat down for tea with this little gay family and has clocked that Bingley just gave birth to the baby that is in the room. These people would not have survived London society. They can't get away with this. I'm so confused on what the role of the Bennet family is supposed to be in this new variation because they keep showing up. Jane and Lizzie specifically keep showing up and getting involved. And it's really just so they can appear and realize that Bingley got pregnant and then go away again and be like, pondering. Are they going to be helpful in some way? Because it's not like they're developing any romances anymore like they had originally thought. At least I'd originally thought with Jane. But I wonder if they're going to take on what Anne started and like they are going to marry these men and then just live comfortably as like one giant family and help keep their secret. Watch Lizzie bring up to Darcy that she knows the baby is Bingley's and Darcy tries to find a way to kill her too. Oh, Lizzie's actually confronting Mr. Darcy with like what she knows about Bingley. And Darcy has flat out confirmed that he is the father or the other father. I think what's throwing me off, I'm officially at 71%. Bingley has the most development of any character in this book. We're very rarely seeing the Bennet family, the Bennet sisters, but we're also very rarely really seeing Bingley and Darcy have a relationship together. It's just like them going through all of these problems and Darcy finding ways to solve them, and Bingley's miserable and pregnant and now having just given birth and still very miserable and stressed out about who knows he just gave birth, how he's supposed to re-enter society after having disappeared for a couple of months, when he's supposed to be bonding with his baby, but like also having to hide his like the physical toll this whole thing took on his body. And then we'll have these glimpses of romance, we'll have these romantic lines and these romantic sensual interactions, but they're so rare. The majority of this book is just conflict after conflict after conflict, and how they're going to solve them, and how solving it causes a new conflict, and how anything is supposed to be wrapped up in the end. There isn't much romance for what is a romance novel. There's so much pressure on this relationship that it doesn't really allow room for these softer moments really to come often. And the most extended time we're given with the two of them being intimate is always like a really sexual scene. I went into this book thinking that this was going to be kind of funny and ultimately fun, but I'm really not having fun. I'm really overwhelmed and stressed for everyone involved. And I'm not having fun. It's not a fun read like I thought it would be. They just came out to everyone as being gay and a family with the baby, and Bingley gave birth, and this was literally such a non-issue to the general public. And they're celebrating their love with another sex scene. I'm actually kind of upset that we're not seeing more scenes of intimacy and romance that like are removed from sex. I don't think it's a problem that these two are having sex. That's not my issue. But I have an issue with those being the most impactful, most romantic scenes that we get, because we never saw them courting each other. We never saw the beginning of their relationship. We never saw it develop. We got dropped into an established relationship already. We didn't see the falling in love part. And now we're at the epilogue. I'm so annoyed. And that's the end. I just... This is ultimately okay. Undeniably bizarre, but not even in a way that's very fun. Love that the murder of Wickham was never brought up ever again. That this truly weighed on no one's conscience. And like, I love A Found Family as much as the next one, but this feels like half of a book. Beyond my beef with how the relationship is developed, like this just feels like half of a book. And then it tries to accommodate by rushing through key plot lines like Bingley's pregnancy and anything having to do with any relationship dynamic that goes on ever in this story. It just like is so strangely hollow in a way. I'm like, I didn't hate it, but this was not nearly as enjoyable as I was hoping it would be. And ultimately, I'm just sitting here like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm rooting for my favorite lesbian, Anne de Berg. And yeah, thank you for watching.